we said the coconut.
So this is the grated coconut. That's like a little hand machine that that they have used to make the small, what do you call it, the grating. And so this is the first process, is to mix the, to mix it. Okay, so get the water out. Or actually it's already milk, or what is it actually?
This already milk.
This is already the milk. Okay, very good. Now we have separated the milk from the fiber, and then from the milk we can make coconut milk, which it already is, and from the milk we can also make the oil, and we're going to show that later. We're making a separate, a second batch, because there's still more milk inside the fiber. So we're putting over the milk that we have just made, and here's the extra milk. Wow, there's a lot coming out still, yeah? Look at that. We are pouring it again through something in order to make the milk. So we're using half of this now to make the milk, and the other half we will use for making the oil. Bring it to the stove to cook it. And for how long are we going to cook it? For 1 hour. Okay. So after we cook the milk, what we're doing now, we're waiting for 27 hours in order for the 2, or actually later on 3 hours, 3 layers to separate. You can already see on the bottom,
Water.
which is water.
Yeah.
And then after that,
milk.
that is the milk already.
And
okay.
the oil should be in the middle of
Yeah,
the
so we have to wait a couple more hours to see also the oil separated from the rest. Milk into a blender, and the blender has been sterilized with hot boiling water. The extra boiling for a couple of more minutes to make sure it's sterile. We're adding 60 milli of
oil, milk.
Milk, regular
Pure
milk, to the coconut oil, to the coconut milk, sorry. And then the coconut milk, we put one cup, so that's 600 milli.
Blender sudah. Blend 1 minute.
Okay, the blending is 1 minute. And what is the speed? So while we're sterilizing the pan for the coconut milk, we're watching the pan that we're cooking for 1 hour, and you can already start smelling the oil of the coconut. So this is what that looks like. So we're gonna have to wait another 10 minutes. We're putting the
Milk and
milk.
coconut milk.
What are we going to do now with
We
it?
boil it.
We're going to boil it.
27 derajat Celsius.
How long?
27 derajat Celsius.
27. So from the pulp that we have, we're going to make flour now. So we're just putting it on a large container, an open thing actually, and so we're going to dry it overnight, and then in the morning it's going to be dry. And when it's dry, we're going to put it into a glass jar. Then we have flour, and we can make macaron cookies. In order to make the sugar, coconut sugar, we're getting the tuak, and the tuak is a fluid that you get from the tree. And there's also a particular process of how to do that, which I cannot show you now. But we just got it from the guy who just made it for us, and we put it in old aqua bottles. So after boiling it, we cooled it off until 43 degrees Celsius, yeah? So, and then now we're going to add some yogurt, some actually real yogurt to it.
This put the
Yeah,
spoon.
yeah, we're adding 3 spoons, yeah? 1.
And
Maybe we stir it softly, slowly. The tuak into a pan, and we're boiling it until what degree?
Until 2 hours.
Oh, 2 hours. After the temperature went down, we stirred the yogurt in, and now we're going to pour it into a small container. These are the containers that we used to get our yogurt in, so we're just pouring it into the same container. And then after that we are going to put it in the refrigerator for 24 hours. And then the next day we will see how it comes out. So this is for making the sugar. So we put the tuak in it, and now we're stirring it once in a while, yeah? And then we're going to wait until in 2 hours, or a little bit less than 2 hours now to finish. Prepared, we're going to put it in the refrigerator. So there, it's going to stay there for 24 hours. Don't touch it, don't move it, don't stir it, don't shake it. And we were cooking the coconut oil. And coconut oil has been cooking for about 1 hour, and now we're waiting for it to clear, so we can already see a little bit of transparent something from the top, and that's going to be the oil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we need to cook again later.
And we need to cook it again later. And here we are preparing more pulp to make it into flour. So we have like a lot of pulp. So we decided to make a lot of flour so we can make cookies, and we can make it ready for muesli. We can use it for like breadcrumbs when you're cooking. You can make all kinds of things like macaroons. So in the meantime, we're still stirring the pot for the sugar, and by now I think it's like an hour and a half left before it'll be ready. So the pulp from the coconut, we're just drying it right now outside in the sun. So you can see here, we decided to make 3 plates. So now we already have some oil on top of the pan, and we're just taking it off from the top right now. And put it into another pan because we're going to boil it again afterwards. So now we're going to boil the oil one more time. So as you can see, it still has some of these white things in it. So in this process, it will become more clear.
Yeah, let us separate.
Yeah. So here you see we're doing 2 things at the same time. So here, one, we're stirring the sugar. And as you can see, this is getting like browner and browner. And the browner it gets, the more you need to stir. And here we keep on adding more oil because you have to really carefully take it from the pan here, so it's not easy to find like a little bit extra. You see, just skim it off the top. So here you can see when the oil is boiling, so you see all that white stuff bubbling up, and later on that part is going to go to the bottom, and then the top will be clear, and that'll be the oil that we're going to use for cooking. So this is what the sugar looks after 1 hour. 1 hour of boiling and stirring once in a while. And this is what the oil is starting to look like. After we skimmed it from the pot that we cooked before for 1 hour. Okay, so this is the oil now. So we just took it off the stove. And you can see it's like a little bit brown, and it took us about 25 minutes to get it to this point. So you can see all the oil is like really clear now. And then we continue looking at our sugar. So the sugar is becoming slowly sugar. So you can see the color is already brown, and the smell is just delicious. So this is just a few minutes later, and you can already see the process is really coming together. Just want to make sure that there's enough water coming out so that it can become hard later on. We're on a very low heat right now, the sugar we're making, and you can see it's becoming thicker and thicker every minute, and it smells like caramel. It's absolutely delicious. Now we're moving over to the oil, yeah? So we're pouring the oil into a canister, so that we can use it on a daily basis. And make sure that the white stuff stays inside the pan and only the transparent oil is coming out. So that's the one that we're going to be using for cooking all of our food in the next week. So the color has become even more brown now, and this is like after another 5 minutes. So we keep on stirring until we think it's sugary. So now we're pouring the sugar into a wooden bowl, and then it's already becoming a little bit hard. So it's going to be exciting to see later on what it really becomes. So now going back to the tuak again. This tuak was harvested yesterday, and it's sweet, definitely. But if we would have harvested it this morning, it would have been even sweeter. So the sugar that we just made is like a slightly sour, but it tastes still really, really good. So this morning we made yogurt. We have it now in the refrigerator. And we have made the oil and sugar. And this all lasted about 2.5 hours. Okay, so this is the end result. So we have from 5 coconuts, we have the coconut milk, this one. And then from 3 liters of tuak, we have this bowl of sugar. And then from 5 coconuts, we have this much oil. And we have here flour in the making from the pulp. So we have a lot of that, actually. And then from there you can make cookies and all kinds of other things, muesli and so on. So we're topping off the milk and putting it in a jar or a bottle. We're just putting it in a jar. So you can see we have to just really skim it off from the top again to get the milk.
Three different tuak from one from coconut, one from palm, and the other one we call ental. And the
ental,
sweeter sugar we can get from ental tuak.
and ental is a different kind of palm coconut tree that grows in East Bali, and then specifically in Karangasem. Yeah?
Yes.
And so that is that. This is now left over from after skimming the milk off the top. So this is water that is left over, and this is the water that we added in order to make the coconut milk. So it's better that you're using like a good quality water, because this is the one that we took from the tap. So we have to throw it out, but next time we will use water that's been filtered so that we can use it as a nice drink, because the taste is actually really good. For the coconut milk, it's actually quite thick and heavy, so it actually has become kind of like a cream. So I suggest next time that we mix that water that we were throwing away this time, that we keep it, and then we mix it with the cream so it becomes like a lighter version of milk. And from that later on we're going to try to make a yogurt, but that's like next time. Okay, so this is like a beetroot soup that was prepared. And we just added some of the coconut milk on top of it, because it's nice and creamy and it really enhances the taste of the soup as well.